What's up, guys, and welcome back to the G-Ret Show. I'm G-Ret. It looks like Barcelona is slowly trying to turn into Man City 2.0. There's more news on Erling Haaland to Barcelona in 2025, and it looks like Laporta is really pushing for this to happen. And it also looks like Bernardo Silva to Barcelona is becoming more and more of a possibility as more news has just been released regarding Bernardo Silva, his future at Man City, and a release clause that could be activated at the end of this season. Plus, we have Joao Felix and him really pushing and advocating for Bernardo Silva to come to Barcelona. So I'm going to give you guys the news about Bernardo Silva first, and then I kind of want to touch on how does he actually fit into Barcelona, if at all, and does this make sense for him or for Barcelona? He did extend his contract until 2026 with Man City, but for whatever reason, there is a clause in his contract where he can leave this summer, and it looks like the current release clause is around 50 million euros, which if Barcelona sells some players, which they already seem like they're going to sell Marcos Alonso, I believe that was actually confirmed, then there's a couple other players they definitely could sell. The money for him, it's fine, and here's Joao Felix. He actually said you need to go out and get Bernardo Silva, and even if it was 60 to 70 million, players are playing up to their mid-30s now. It shouldn't be an issue, and this is a player that Barcelona should get. Apparently, Bernardo Silva has a sister that's living in Spain, and Joao Felix also revealed that Bernardo Silva was asking about Barcelona in general and how he likes playing here, how he likes living here, about the taxes and the weather. Obviously, that shows that he's somewhat interested. Now, again, I don't know why you would want to leave this, incredible City team and come to Barcelona, who is a good team, but I mean, I guess it's Barcelona. If you get a chance to play at Barca or Real Madrid, I feel like you kind of have to at least try. You have to take a chance. But here's where I want to give my thoughts. So Barcelona, they've already been linked to Zubamendi and Kimmich. They want a CDM. Okay. They also need a left winger, but it looks like they're going to keep Ferran Torres, and it looks like they'll probably extend the loan option for Joao Felix. So unfortunately, I don't really see them going after another left winger, and they have Lamine Yamal on the right. So this is where it gets interesting and where I want to hear you guys' thoughts, because as much as I love Bernardo Silva, I think he's a great player, and his style of play, these players like him and Foden, Musiala, Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Iniesta, these players that are such technically gifted players, they're so quick and they're good on the ball, they're great at dribbling in tight spaces. Those are the players I really admire. And these are players that excel in the Barcelona style of football. There's no doubt in my mind Bernardo Silva would excel and be extremely important to Barcelona if he played there. But I don't think they need him. Maybe that's not the right statement. They don't need him. I don't know where he fits in because they have Lamine Yamal, and I know he's young and you want to rest him, but I think he's going to be the main starting right winger moving forward. And then in the midfield, assuming you don't sell Frankie de Jong and you keep everyone else. So Gundogan's contract, I just looked, he will join for 2 seasons through 2025 and an option to stay for 1 more year. Okay, so assuming you keep him for 2 more years after this season, you're going to have Frankie, Gundogan, Gavi, Pedri, you have Christensen, and then you want to get Kimmich or Zubamendi or another CDM. So those right there are 6 midfielders. And you want to bring in Bernardo Silva, a 7th. I mean, I know he's versatile. He can play as a right winger, but in my opinion, there's too much talent there that you're going to have a lot of players on the bench. Who do you start? Who do you bench? And it's a strange situation that they're in. I mean, I think Bernardo Silva's great, and I want him to join the club, but when I actually think about what makes sense, I think money could actually be spent better elsewhere. We need wingers that can actually score goals. He can score, and Barca already has Lamine Yamal, and they still have Rafinha, who, as inconsistent as he can be, is still a good player that he can make an impact when he comes in, and he can also be someone that, he can play in the left or right and come off the bench. I don't think you want to bring in Bernardo Silva and have him come off the bench. So I don't think him on the right wing is going to really work out, even if they sell Rafinha, because it's going to be him and Lamine Yamal splitting time. And then what? Is he going to split time with Gundogan, Frankie, Pedri, Gavi? There's already too much talent there as it is. It's not that I don't want him, and I don't think he's a great player, because it's the exact opposite. I just don't think it's the best situation for Barcelona. They don't need to get another midfielder like that. Get a CDM, fine. But then get a left winger. And then if you're not going to pursue Vitor Roque as Robert Lewandowski's replacement as an actual center forward or a number 9, then you need to prioritize finding another number 9. And I guess this might be where Erling Haaland comes in, because Laporta seems pretty adamant that he wants to get Haaland. I don't think Haaland fits Barcelona's system. I'm not a huge fan of Erling Haaland, I'll be completely honest. I'm more of a fan of Julian Alvarez, and I think Alvarez fits the Barcelona system a lot better than Haaland. Now, again, if you didn't have to worry about money and assuming that was fine, and Barcelona got Erling Haaland, no, I wouldn't be mad that they got Haaland. He's obviously the best all-in-out striker probably in the world. You know, Mbappe is the best player, but Haaland is more of a striker. Fine, we'll give it to Haaland, but I just think Alvarez is more dynamic to his play. Not think, he is more dynamic. He's a better dribbler. He'd be able to get more involved in the build-up play, and, you know, their possession, I think, would be a lot more beneficial playing with Alvarez up top. That's my main concern with Erling Haaland. And, you know, apparently he agreed to come to Barcelona before joining City, but due to the financial restrictions and their issues, they couldn't sign him. I don't know why City would want to get rid of him. I do think one of them has to go because Haaland, you know, obviously as dominant as he can be, Julian Alvarez can't keep living in his shadow. Even though he does get some playing time, he needs to be starting somewhere else. So one of the two have to leave. I don't know who or how they choose that, but if I'm Barcelona, I'm pursuing Julian Alvarez before Erling Haaland. So out of those players, would you like to see any of them come to Barcelona? And if so, which one? Why would you want to see them and why not? It's just a weird situation I think Barcelona is in because the midfield is fine for the next few years. If they got Kimmich or Zubamendi, you're fine because you have Kimmich or Zubamendi. If they keep Christensen, fine. He can play as a center back or as a holding midfielder. You have Frankie, Gavi, Pedri, Gundogan. I love all those options. And Fermin Lopez, I forgot him. So you have all those players. You don't need to bring in another one. As much as Bernardo Silva would help, I just don't think it makes sense because it's taking time from other players. I would love to see Koundé just get over his I want to be a center back because I hate to break it to him. Cabarsi and Araujo are the future center backs. I think he needs to get over it. I think he's good as a right back, and the more he plays and if he allows himself to adapt in the role, if he could be more involved in the attack like Joao Cancelo, I mean, I think he's a good right back. And moving forward, you can obviously move Balde and he can play as a left back and you can rotate Cancelo in. I want to keep Cancelo. I think the midfield and the defense for the most part is fine. It's the who's going to replace Lewandowski. Are you keeping Rafinha? Are you not? And you got to find a left winger. You have to. I like Joao Felix a lot. Ferran Torres he's fine. I don't have an issue with him. He's someone I think is good enough to come off the bench, but Barcelona needs to find a really class left winger that they can truly count on, that can score, that's going to start every game, that's dangerous, that's really making an impact every single match. Unfortunately, I don't think that's either of those two players. So a CDM, Lewandowski's replacement, and the left winger for me are probably the three positions I'm looking at most. I would assume that Vitor Roque would either be the long-term solution as a left winger. I thought he was going to be Lewandowski's replacement, but the fact that we just never play him, it really concerns me. I have no idea what the future for him looks like, if they're going to loan him out. I feel for him. I really do, and I hope next season is completely different and he gets a lot more playing time. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who would you want to replace Lewandowski? Would you want it to be Vitor Roque, Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez? And then what do you guys think about Bernardo Silva joining Barcelona? Would you want to see it, or do you actually think it would be smart for him to come to Barcelona? Does it make sense? Would he fit into the plans? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you guys back here soon, and I'll see you guys back here next time on the G-Red Show.